Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days.
Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Rimuru X Harem, Regret and Returning into the Past. By Peaches 05312. Gods Summoned to a Fantasy World by BenGrem1234. Prologue. 20 years has passed since the Tenma War, and a lot has changed in the world. Everything was peaceful, and it was all thanks to the effort of Rimuru Tempest, who has ascended to divinity. He was able to make the kingdom of Tempest into the best country in the world. All around the world, everyone would want to visit Tempest and have a glimpse of the god who resides in it. That's right, after the war, a new religion was established in the human nation which worships Rimuru as their one true god. Rimuru was at first uncomfortable with this, but gave up after seeing how determined the humans are in worshipping him. Because of this, Rimuru hardly interacts with others except for the people he already knew before. He stays in his new palace that was built in his honor. Every monsters under Rimuru had made sure that he does as little work as possible. They believe that their god Rimuru is above measly works and have made it a point to ensure that all he does are just paperwork that absolutely required his attention. Currently at the moment, Rimuru is seating at his office in his palace doing paperwork. He can't complain since this is the only work he is allowed to do. Due to this, Rimuru has felt nothing but boredom ever since the war ended. Rimuru signed the last paper and relaxed in his chair. Finally, I'm done. Less than good work, master. Greater than Seal praised him. You could have helped me to do this work faster. You even banned me from using my powers to get the work done earlier. Less than that would defeat the point of allowing you to do some work without your powers. Greater than. That's true, I guess. I wish there was something interesting I could do, Rimuru said. Less than you could visit your town. It has been 5 years since you left the palace. I'm sure that so many changes has occurred since your last visit. Greater than. You know how my people are. A god such as yourself should not grace us mortals with your presence. They will say something like that, Rimuru said with a sigh. Just then a knock was heard on the door and someone entered the office. The person was Shuna, who was wearing her shrine maiden clothes. Lord Rimuru, you have a visitor, Shuna informed him. I know. Send her in, was Rimuru reply. After Rimuru became a god, he transcended the world system which was created by Veldanaba to rely on skills as people's main source of power. Right now, Rimuru does not have any skill whatsoever because he is above the very concept of skills. His powers are absolute because he could do pretty much anything he wants with nothing but a thought. He became omnipotent, omniscience and omnipresence. He understands all phenomenon that exists in the multiverse, and he knows what will happen before it even happens thanks to him being omniscience.
He hated this power of his because it spoils any kind of fun he wants to have for himself. Due to this, he recreated Seal because he lost her when he transcended above the concept of skills. He gave her his power of omniscience and asked her to reveal things for him if it was absolutely important. Rimuru also asked her to manage his powers for him because his very presence is enough to destroy the universe if he was not careful.
And that was how he knew who was coming, because Seal has already informed him that she was on her way. Shuna bowed and left the room for the person to enter. The person entered the room and closed the door. Long time no see, sensei, or should I call you Rimuru now? The person asked him with a smile. Rimuru smiled back. You can call me whatever you want, Chloe. After all, we are equals now. Chloe laughed a little. That's true, but we are only equal in the eyes of the people. You are still massively more powerful than I am. Don't sell yourself short, Chloe. You are the only being in existence who has the potential of reaching my level of existence. Give yourself another few hundred years and you will reach me in no time, Rimuru told him. If you say so, Rimuru, Chloe said to him with a blush. Chloe Obel was the former student of Rimuru Tempest. She was the hero who sealed Veldora away for 300 years before Rimuru came and freed him. She was also one of the many females who harbored feelings for Rimuru, and she was the one who is likely going to be chosen to be by his side. 2 years after the Tenma War, an evil time god came to the world and declared that he was going to take the world for himself. The god's powers was slightly smaller than that of Veldanaba and was massively bigger than all true dragons combined. The being rendered everyone who challenged him helpless before his powers. Even the octagram were helpless before the being's powers.
The god's power was complete control of time. He can bend time, pause time, rewind time, see into the future or the past of anything he wants, change the future to the desired outcome he wants, forcefully take away a person's time at will, forcefully rewind a person's time at will, time skipping by however long he wants, erasing the concept of time of anything he wants, and many more time abilities. He was the god of time after all, so it was only natural that he has full control over time.
Of course, Rimuru never fought him because he considers it a pain. He could easily erase the evil god with a thought if he wants, but he wanted to see if anyone on Earth could match the power of a god before he gets involved. And that was when it happened. Chloe, who transcended to a supreme spirit of time, went and challenged the god to a fight after the defeat of the octagram. They fought for 1 week straight without rest until finally, she was able to defeat the god and absolve all his powers as her own. She was able to beat him because of the powers she was constantly borrowing from Rimuru. After she absolved the evil god's powers, she evolved into a god and became the new goddess of time. When the voice of the world announced her evolution to the world, the humans began to honor her as the goddess who will be by Rimuru's side as his queen. And without fail, everyone built an altar for her next to Rimuru's own. She was forced to move into Tempest because of this, and she was staying in the palace that was built for Rimuru. But she was placed in a different section of the palace in order not to distract Rimuru from his duties. The current Chloe is as strong as Veldanava in power and was only second to Rimuru. She too has transcended beyond the concept of skills and has full control over time now. Rimuru was happy with Chloe's evolution. He didn't tell anybody this, but the reason he refused to accept any girls who were obviously in love with him was because they were all mortals and he was not anymore. None of them could handle even a fraction of his powers. If he ever decided to take a girl as a lover, she would die if he decides to be intimate with her because of how powerful he was. He could bring them back from the dead or make them strong enough to handle his powers, but he doesn't like messing with the normal flow of things. That's why he was glad when Chloe ascended into a god. She could handle his powers a little, but that little was all he wanted. He knew that Chloe has been in love with him for a while now, and he was more than happy to reciprocate her feelings. He was just waiting to see if she would admit it to him. Now then, back to the present. Chloe went and sat down in a chair next to Rimuru. "What are you doing, Rimuru?" "I just finished signing this. I'm thinking of relaxing in my room," Rimuru told her. "Mind if I join you? I've got nothing to do today and I would like to talk with you," Chloe said with a blush. You'd think that after 20 years, she would finally have the courage to confess her love to me, Rimuru thought with a smile. Less than you could always make the move, master. Greater than Seal told him. "I could, but it is always fun to see her try so hard," Rimuru thought. "Let's go then, shall we?" Rimuru stretched out his hand for her to take. Chloe saw his hand and immediately took it with her own hand and stood up with him. She tried to hide her face from him because of how red it was. This only caused Rimuru to smile more. Once the two approached the door to Rimuru's room, a huge magic circle appeared below both of their feet, which surprised them. Rimuru looked at the circle in confusion and asked, "What is this?" Less than it seemed to be a summoning circle. "Someone is trying to summon both you and Chloe. Should I cancel it?" Greater than. "No need. I don't know why, but my adventurer's mind is tingling. This has isekai written all over it," Rimuru said in excitement. "Rimuru, this appears to be a summoning circle. We should cancel it before it summons us someplace weird," Chloe told him. "Nah, don't worry, Chloe. We should leave it and see who has the power to summon gods like us. And besides, that could lead to a whole new adventure with just the two of us. After all, many isekai stories I've read all had something like this," Rimuru said with excitement. Chloe sighed at Rimuru's childishness. "If you say so. We do need a vacation after all. Glad you understand. Now then, let's speed this up a bit." Rimuru added a very small amount of power to the summoning circle and it shined more brightly than before. The magic circle then activated with Rimuru's power and both Rimuru and Chloe disappeared from sight. And that is the start of this new adventure in another world.